Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope this is going to show up okay. I'm sitting out in my backyard having a fire. I've got a whole bunch of trees that I've cut down that I need to burn, get rid of. We live in a kind of not rural, but smaller town about an hour south of Salt Lake City, and this is legal. Everything's cool. But yeah, I've got all this stuff I got to burn off, and I thought, well, I'm gonna sit out here, have a drink, skål, talk to my friends, and reminisce a little bit. So I thought tonight I would talk to my 30-year-old self, 30 years ago, and maybe it'll have some relevance to you. Maybe it'll shed some light on your life. Hopefully it gives some input into your life, some retrospection. Is that a word? But yeah, so 30 years ago, I was going through a divorce. I was 30 years old. I had a 3-4-year-old daughter. And my ex-wife and I, we're actually pretty good friends now. I don't think there's any hard feelings. They're certainly not from my side, and I don't think there are from her side either. I think we realized we were never actually meant to be together, whatever that means. If you're into the universe and fate and all that kind of stuff, it just was never meant to be. The day we were getting married, we found out years later that we were both thinking, this is not what I want. I don't want to do this. And we were married for about 5.5 years. We had a lot of good times together. We were good friends. We just weren't suited to be husband and wife. But I've got no regrets because I got my daughter out of that, and she's got 3 beautiful kids, and we actually found out today that she's having a 4th child. So our 6th grandchild is on the way, and that's very exciting, and we're very blessed. But when I was 30, people talk about their midlife crisis. Usually it's in your 40s, right? Maybe 50s. My midlife crisis was at 30 because I was going through this divorce. I was living in Denver. I'm not from Denver. My ex-wife and I moved out there because some of her family was out there, including her parents. So when I went through that divorce, I was by myself. I ended up living in a Motel 6 for quite a while, and no offense, but it's not a high-end motel. It was not a good life at the time. I was starting to travel a lot. Like now I travel for work. I've been traveling for work for over 30 years, but it was kind of at the beginning of that, and it was a rough time. I was very depressed. A couple of months after the divorce, I moved back to Utah, and my ex-wife and my daughter did too. In fact, I helped them move. Got them set up. I helped them move. I didn't want them out of my life for sure. My daughter, I was super close to. For a while there, for about a year, I was Mr. Mom. I did some side work, kind of some side hustle stuff you would call it these days. And then I took care of our daughter, which, don't get me wrong, I loved being with my daughter, but I'm not cut out to be at home. I'm not, that sounds wrong. I love being at home. I'm not cut out to be at home 24 hours a day. And so after our divorce, I started hitting it hard, working 60, 70, 80-hour weeks, and kind of getting back into my groove, trying to find myself again. It was a really rough time. I didn't know who I was. I thought I knew who I was before that, but turns out I didn't. And I ended up having a couple of my brothers come work with me. One of my best friends came and worked with me for a while. Now he's my brother-in-law. We're married to sisters, which is very cool. We've been very close friends for 45 years. And now we've been brother-in-laws for, I guess it'll be 28 years next month. And that actually kind of saved me. If you're going through a really rough patch, which I think most of us do, and that was a rough patch. I'm not a guy that's prone to a lot of depression or feeling sorry for himself, but that was a really rough time. And I know the lighting is not great here, but I'm sitting by the fire, and I thought this would be a really cool time to do a video. So, cheers. But yeah, it was for me. Well, for anybody that's going through that, any of you that have gone through divorce or a traumatic experience in your life, you know what I'm talking about. It's rough, and it's not easy. Sorry, I'm just gonna try and move a couple of logs here, get this fire going a little bit better. So we moved back to Utah, and I had graduated from college in Utah, so I knew a few people, but I didn't have a lot of close friends. My brother lived up in Salt Lake City, and I was in Provo at the time, about 45, 50 minutes apart. And I saw them about once a week, and that helped a lot. If you're going through a period like this and you're struggling, try as hard as you can. And I know this isn't an option for everybody, but if you can, get with the people that are close to you. Get with the people that care about you, because it saved my life. It literally saved my life. And I came out the other side better. I had sworn when I got divorced, I was not getting married again for a long time. I wasn't thinking I'm never getting married again, but I was thinking it'll be many, many years before I get married again. And then my buddy, who's now my brother-in-law, introduced me to his sister-in-law, who had also just gone through a divorce. Not that long after, so it was probably, I guess it was 7 or 8 months after my divorce, we met. And it's not like we just started dating right away. Back then, there were no cell phones, there was no internet, there was none of that. So we talked on the phone, because I was, by that point, I was traveling all the time. I was on the road all the time. And we would just talk on the phone for hours and hours. And it was probably about a month that we just talked on the phone. And then I remember telling her one day, let's go on a real date. Let's do the date thing. And I remember I gave her a dollar amount. I think it was $200 or $300, which was a fair bit 30 years ago, and said, you come up with something fun for us to do. And we ended up going up to Park City, which, even if you're not from Utah, you've probably heard of Park City, Sundance Film Festival, that whole thing. And she bought us tickets to the Chicago concert. It was called Park West at the time, which is a ski resort up there. And we went up there, it was late August. No, it was probably September, actually. September of 95. Yeah, that's right, September of 95. Under the stars. She had a little baby at the time, who's now my son. I adopted him. But at the time, he was 5, 6 months old. I had my daughter, who was 4.5. And so that was kind of the only time we actually got to date. But it was amazing. We had a blast. And that was my comeback. That was the start of my comeback. I had gone on a couple of dates in between there and didn't feel like I was ready for it. I didn't feel like my heart was in a place, my mind was in a place where I was ready to, put myself into a relationship again. This relationship, now we've been married for 28 years next month, and I couldn't be happier. We have 4 beautiful kids. We each had a kid coming in, then we had 2 more. We're the Brady Bunch. And it's amazing. So I guess my point is, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. If you despair, I feel for you. I really do. You can get to a point where it's like, what am I doing? What's life worth? But there's an exit, there's a upside. You can come out better than you went in. So my friends, if you're watching this and you got this far and you're in a dark place, please know there's an upside. It gets better. It really does. And I'm a testament to that. Now I have a beautiful home, I have a beautiful family, I have an amazing wife. I'm very blessed. So I hope this video didn't come across dark. Well, it came across dark because you can't see me. I'm sitting by a fire, but I hope it comes across the way I intended it, which is don't give up. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Just persevere, get through it. I know it's tough. Trust me, I've been there. And it gets dark, but there's light. There is light, I promise you. Just keep going, keep plugging, and you'll get there. You'll get there. So hopefully this video helps somebody. If it helps one person, amazing. So I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Right now it's Friday. I think it's the 25th of October. I lose track because I'm on the road all the time. Yeah, that's right, because next Thursday is Halloween. And we got the grandkids coming over. I think I already mentioned we got our 6th grandkid on the way. Yes. Love grandkids. They're amazing. Got to play some golf today. I'm back home. Been on the road for 3 weeks straight, 22 straight days on the road. So I love coming home. But just keep your chin up. Keep fighting. You'll get there. I promise you'll get there. If I can do anything, reach out. Ask me a question. If I can give you some advice or some help or point you in the right direction, I will. So, peace. Love.